If you continue to be like this, you will see after some time they have no choice at all. Emotion is a very powerful thing. This is not a trick. This is a way of being. This is an intelligent way to exist.
Sadhguru, can you share something on how to build goodwill and manage perceptions?
So how to build goodwill? I was doing a program for one of the top, really one of the largest multinational company in the world. Top 25 executives. It's a 2-day event. I had 9 volunteers with me. Isha Foundation is a completely volunteer-run organization. And these 9 volunteers were managing everything for the program, and on the second day, one of these executives asked me, "Sadhguru, where do you get such people?" Because they are always looking for attrition, Where do you get such people? I said, "You don't get them, you got to make them." "How do you make them?" I said, "You have to make them fall in love with you." "Oh, how do we do that?" I said, "First you must fall in love with them." Then they say, "Oh, they don't pay us for that." So that's all it is. So, you cannot build goodwill. You have to exude goodwill. If you offer it to everybody, then it comes back to you in many ways. But you don't worry whether it comes back to you or not. This should be your way of living. This should be a way of being, that you naturally include everybody in everything that you are. Some will respond, some will not respond, and it's fine, it's their choice. But as far as you're concerned, there's no choice. You have fallen in love with everybody. For them, they can choose still, but after some time, they'll lose their choice. They'll have no choice. If you continue to be like this, you will see after some time they have no choice at all. Initially, they act like they have a choice, but after a while, they'll have no choice. So don't try to build goodwill. See, when I say fall in love with something, all I'm saying is, what you refer to as love is just a certain pleasantness of your emotion. Emotion is a very powerful thing. Though people talk all intellectual nonsense, still world is driven by human emotion. Yes? Isn't it so? Who gets elected is still driven by emotion, isn't it? Who is popular in the country or in the world is still driven by emotion, isn't it? People that you have never set your eyes upon, they're the people you're in love with. Please see. Yes? You see an Amitabh Bachchan or a Tendulkar or a Brad Pitt or somebody, or maybe Angelina Jolie, I'm sorry, You are in love with people that you have never seen, because that is the nature of your emotion. So emotion is a powerful tool. So if you can manage a steady sweetness of your emotion, you're in love with everything around you. If you're like this, people can't help it, they'll fall. This is not a trick, this is a way of being. This is an intelligent way to exist, because whether they fall in love with you or not, your life is very pleasant and sweet. Whether somebody loves you or not doesn't make a difference. It is just that you are loving that makes your life very pleasant. So goodwill, there is no trick to build goodwill. That is called honey, There is no trick, you just be like this. Those who respond will respond, those who don't. What is the problem?
I want to explore the way we educate physicians in this country. There's a lot of research around this in the United States, medical education, that we take caring, compassionate people into our medical schools, so it does not look as though the problem is our selection. People come with open hearts and with compassion and love. And there's a lot of data that looks at what happens 1 year into medical training, 2 years into medical training. What the studies show is that 1 year, 2 years into training, empathy and compassion in the people that were empathetic, loving people when they came in has plummeted.
Yeah, we are still… see, if you want flowers to grow in your garden, you don't have to think flowers, you don't have to chant flowers. You just have to think of soil, manure, water, sunlight. Nothing to do with flowers. If you handle filth well, flowers will happen.
Oh, that's good. If you handle filth well, flowers will happen. Write that down.
Those people who think of flowers, they will end up with Chinese-made plastic flowers.
Yes.
They will not have flowers. So we're again thinking of empathy, compassion, love. These are all consequences of a human being in a certain way. We're trying… see, the whole approach of the intellect is go for the fruit, goal-oriented. No, not the fruit, the root. You nurture the root, fruit will happen. Fruit is a consequence. You're shooting for the consequence without being interested in the cause. That's not going to produce long-term results. Then this is what you will end up with, something that'll work short-term and then that itself becomes a huge problem. Right now, healthcare system itself is a huge problem. The very fact that pharmaceutical industry is the second largest industry on the planet speaks volumes about our health, isn't it? People tell me I do not know the statistics, these are all things which are being circulated on the internet and things like that. They say almost 37% of the medicine, all kinds of medicines manufactured in the world are consumed by Americans themselves. They don't even account for a minuscule of the population, and if they're consuming 37%, either they're paranoid about their health or really they're unhealthy. One of these things must be true, isn't it? So, we need to look at this. If you want this to enter the medical school, one simple way is, if the medical school can start in some way, we can prescribe a method with which, first, one who wants to touch somebody else's body should make some effort to know about his own. One of your limitations, one of your problems, one of your nonsense that people suffer around you, one of those things should go. You can't leave all of it wholesale, at least one. Shall we? Because without transformation, empty spirituality, talking spirituality, acting spiritual is no good. Some transformation must happen, isn't it? Please make that happen so that when you live, people will enjoy living with you. When you die, they'll miss you. That's how you should live. On a certain day, Shankaran Pillai's wife was particularly incensed about her husband. So she made a soup and put 5 extra spoons of chili. And she came and served it. It was hot, steaming hot. And she wants to see what happens. She wrung her hands, but he's reading the newspaper. She said, "The soup is ready." She said, "The soup is ready." She said, "The soup is ready." I said, and still reading the newspaper. Then she wanted to see whether it'll really work or if the chili powder is adulterated. Not strong enough. So she thought, let her check it up, and took a spoonful and just put it. It just exploded in her mouth. Tears welled up. Tears started flowing. Just at that moment, Shankaran Pillai kept his newspaper down and came. He looked at her and said, "Why are you crying?" She said, just last year my mother died. And how much she loved this soup. When I just saw this soup bowl, it reminded me of my mother, and tears came. Oh, is that so? Don't worry, it's what to do. We all lose our mothers and fathers sometime. It's all right. And Shankaran Pillai went back to his newspaper with the soup and reading the newspaper, he put it in his mouth, it went boom like a dynamite, because this was a full spoonful. Tears came into his eyes. Then she came and said, "Oh, you're also emotional about my mother." He said, "No, I am not crying because your mother died. I am crying because that good mother left and she left you here and went." This is not the way to live. When you live, people should enjoy your presence. When you die, they should miss you. If the reverse happens, that means we've lived the wrong way. Isn't it?
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Recently, the Sadhana Pada program was announced, which involves being in the ashram for 6 months. I have a few friends who are interested in this. Could you please elaborate a little more on what this involves?
See, many of your friends, whoever they are, they may not be ready for 24-hour sadhana for 6 months. So we will structure it according to individual needs, we will look at them and decide. Maybe first 1 month everybody will go through a common practice, but after that we will decide who should go through how much. Sadhana is not just sitting eyes closed and doing something. Sadhana is also learning to work. Sadhana is also learning to move among people with least amount of friction. Very important. You may be meditating as much as you want, but if you're all thorns on the outside and move around, the other people will make sure your meditation doesn't work after some time. Don't underestimate those people. Yes, do not underestimate the people around you. If you walk around with thorns all the time, I'm meditator like this, they will make sure your meditation doesn't work after some time. So, sadhana is also about moving in the world with least amount of friction. I've said this many times. In the Far East Asian cultures, an enlightened being is always referred to as an enchi. Enchi means a circle. The wheels of your car and every other vehicle is round in shape. Why? Because it's a shape which moves with least amount of resistance. A triangular wheel would definitely be far more jazzy. Hello? Just look at your car, how it would look. But least amount of resistance. So this is very important. That when you walk about in the world, you move with least amount of resistance. Otherwise, outside situations will occupy you for the rest of your life. If you create little friction here, you will see this friction will keep you occupied for the rest of your life. It will not allow you to focus on anything else. So, sadhana also means this. So, they will volunteer in various aspects, they will serve in the schools, they will go and work with the rivers, they will do many things, but all of it used as a sadhana for your growth. In 6 months' time, in your body, you must be stronger and younger. In your mind, you must be sharper and much more stable. In your emotions, you must be very lucid. In your energies, you must be intense and stable. We want to bring these kind of people to the world. These are not people who are going to come and live in the ashram forever, but we want to open the doors of ashram so that 6 months of being here, when they go back, they must go back as much more stable, and clear and wise life, it's very important. Clarity and stability, these two things are vital to human life, that you see things clearly and you're stable. Stability is one thing, or lack of stability is one thing, which is costing humanity tremendously. So much intelligence, so much talent, so much genius is all down the drain simply because people don't have stability, no balance. Above all, balance is most important. When you have balance, you have freedom. You know, you're riding your bicycle for the first time. You can't do a thing, but you're well balanced, you're hands-free, riding around, you can whistle and do all this on the bicycle, isn't it? Hello? Balance gives you freedom. That is so with your mental nature, with your mind, with your body, with your energies, everything. If this is balanced, it gives you enormous freedom to do things, to do your life the way you want it. So we want to see that people who are working in large businesses, people who are in the government, people who are in important positions, take this 6-month break and invest upon their own growth, clarity and balance. If these two things happen, we will have better human beings and a better world, for sure. So this is what this sadhana pada is about, and some of them were asking me, but if I want to take a break from my corporation, will you give me a certificate? I'll give you a certificate, what's the problem with a piece of paper? I never collected any of my certificates ever, but it didn't mean anything to me. But if it means something to your corporation, we will write a certificate for you, what is the problem? But the important thing is, have you brought little more clarity and balance into your life? This is important. How effective a life you will be is essentially determined by what is the level of clarity you have and how much balance you have. This will allow you the freedom to traverse this life as you wish. Otherwise, naturally you will lock yourself up in your box. If you make economics the only value of your life, then world will become very male. There must be a world where women can be 100% feminine and still be absolutely successful. Money should not be the ruling factor. Well, a woman is not a separate species, first of all. This too much of man-woman thing is being done, unfortunately. It's a small biological difference to serve a certain purpose. We're all here today because of this difference, yes? So, we don't have to treat women like separate species. There was a time when the world was such that a woman couldn't really go out and do much because of the nature of the world around. Suppose right now, I don't know, maybe 2,000–3,000 people turned up from many parts of the world for yesterday's event in Kashi. I think in this more than 60% are women. Now, suppose this was 1,000 years ago, it would be 95% men, only 5% women maybe. Because to travel by walk or by on a horseback and to come to Kashi from 1,000 miles away would be a challenging thing for a woman, would not be very safe for a woman those days. But today, you must understand it's not your liberal attitude which has brought women reasonably level, just technology. Technology has leveled the difference because your big muscle is no more useful. You need some brain. When man's muscle did everything on this planet, naturally man was dominant. This dominance also is misunderstood. He dominated in one arena which was filmed and reported. She dominated in a different arena which was private and not reported. If you make economics the only value of your life, money is the only prime value in your life, then world will become very male, because there'll be no room for the feminine to find expression. There may be women, but they will surrender their feminine to be successful, unfortunately. This should not happen. Women should succeed as women, not as men. With full-blown feminine nature, they must be able to be successful in a society. They don't have to pretend to be a man to be successful. This has to go. If this has to go, the world has to move completely from brawn to brain. It's very important, this transition. Now, when you talk about economy or money power, it's brawn. It's a different kind of muscle. So we are taking away the physical muscle and bringing in the money muscle, so once again you're creating a male-dominated society, masculine-dominated society, because now women have understood how to be successful by being masculine. No, this is not a good thing for the world. There must be a world where women can be 100% feminine and still be absolutely successful. If this has to happen, money should not be the ruling factor, it should be just currency. Money is just currency to facilitate things. But right now, money is the ruling factor, so masculine becomes the dominant force. We need to change this. Unless music, aesthetics, love, beauty and other things, everything becomes equal proportions, feminine will not flourish. And if feminine is wiped out of this planet, then all the men will sit and wonder, why are we living? Like never before, distortions are also happening to yoga. Serious distortions. Most ridiculous distortions are happening. So at a time like this, going out in the world, offering, mark my words, I'm saying offering classical hatha yoga is a very significant and an important thing to do, because the populations on the planet are showing interest, but to provide the genuine thing is a tremendous responsibility. Yoga means, in a way, you're trying to marry the cosmos, union with the cosmos. You should not take yourself seriously, but because of what you offer, other people should take you seriously. You take yourself seriously, then you're your partner, cosmos. You're a ridiculous fool when you have a partner like that, no matter how smart you are, isn't it? So that's what yoga means, you're trying union with… So don't ever think you're too smart. You're stupid, but that's what is good about you, because you know. Most other idiots do not know. That's a big thing. The difference between being intelligent and stupid is just this. An intelligent person knows that he's stupid, an idiot does not know that he's an idiot. That's the whole problem. Yoga means you're constantly realizing, because you're constantly enhancing your perception. As your perception becomes keener and keener, you're constantly enhancing. If you have to constantly enhance, you must clearly understand that you don't know a damn thing. Otherwise, the moment you think, I know, you will stop. That means no yoga. The day we have produced, let's say, 10,000 classical hatha yoga teachers who are actively on in the world, after that, this will become the standard. That's all we need to do. So, you must live and offer this in such an inspiring way. Anybody who sees you should want to do it this way. They must understand the reason why we are taking so much care. For future generations on this planet, it's very important that this science is preserved in its pristine form, not in some crazy ways of doing things.